Hi guys, just wanted to show you here our new DeLonghi Nespresso coffee maker. So I'm going to show you the basic functions, how to make a coffee, also with some milk options. I'm also going to talk about cleaning, especially regarding this milk part here. I'm also talking about these containers here, which are really special design. And of course, I will talk about the coffee quality. But here I'm not talking only about the good stuff. I will also let you know what I really don't like. Yeah, there's something which you probably won't hear or won't see anywhere else. So it's definitely worth to stay tuned till the very end of the video, because I'm going to show you something which I don't like and maybe you also don't like it, and it could be very important. But of course there's a lot of good stuff. So of course where we have to start is with this water container here. We have this convenient lid here on top. Compared to the old version which we also had, this is not attached anymore. There's good and bad about that. Of course you can drop it. With the old one, it was impossible to drop. And there was also the option to hold it with the lid. Here we don't have this option. So while cleaning, I just put it here, usually like that. But it's not a really bad thing. I mean, to really rinse and clean it, that's much better without the lid. By the way, here in the back, this is how it looks. It's a little bit different compared to the old models. Sometimes we have also a little bit of water when we remove the tank, but it's pretty easy to just push it down here. It almost like snaps in. There's a little bit of a gap here. With the old versions, it was always fully attached. That has always been a little bit a challenge to close then the lid here. That's actually much better. One of the big improvements here, and there are quite some improvements compared to the old machine which we bought about 10 years ago. Then let's keep talking about the tanks here. So there's one thing that's pretty large. So we usually have this underneath when we are using smaller cups like this one here, or even a little bit larger. Fits even nicely for intermediate size. You can see that's quite the size. That's the IKEA standard size. Fits nicely here underneath. But of course, when we want to use larger glasses, larger cups, we can remove that and put this straight underneath. More than that, we cannot remove. So that's the highest size. Then more here regarding the opening, we can just pull here and then we have access. You can see that's the container here for the capsules. What I really like here, I hope you can see that there's a hole here underneath. That was not the case with the old model. So it was also filling up. And the people who haven't been aware of that there was some water, they just poured it into the trash bin. So here it's much better. But of course, on the other hand, when you hold it like that accidentally, you can see there's some water flowing out. So you have to be careful. But of course, you can lift out the whole thing in one and then dispose this right on top of the trash bin and this into the sink. You can see there's also some water down here, but there's not only an overflow here, there's also an overflow here, which goes then directly into this tray, which we can also remove. And there's even a lower container. I think that's even a little bit lower. So if everything overflows, you could see that here. So you have just basically one spot which you have to monitor at the very end. But of course, it's highly recommended to do a cleaning every day if you use it a lot. And everything is easy to clean. Yeah, I don't know who left it like that. Usually we don't have any coffee here down in this tray. Also not here. There's usually just water or maybe a couple of drops. And so for a normal coffee, we just turn it on here. By the way, that's the only button which you really have to push down. All other buttons are just sensor buttons. I like that. But I also wish that this one would be a sensor button. Every time before I use this coffee maker, I give it a quick rinse. So make sure that there's no capsule here inside. And then I'm using the ristretto. Just click here. What's also really nice is that it heats up really fast. That's usually the case with Nespresso machines. Usually takes just a couple of seconds After turning this on, you can already press and then it gives quick rinse. What's also very important that we open this. You can see there's additional water flowing. That's usually the case with the normal Nespresso brand. If you buy third-party machines, sometimes that's not the case. But I love how nicely this works, especially with this capsule here. You can see this goes inside really, really nice and smooth. And the closing mechanism also very nice, soft, not too hard, has never caused any issues, not even with third-party capsules. And so we would be ready to use it with one of these three options. Come a little bit closer, you can see now we have just 3 lights. That means we can only use one of these 3 options. That's the ristretto, that's the espresso, and that's the lungo. Everything else, it doesn't work because they need some milk. And so that's what we are doing now. So we can open this lid here. Then we have to add some milk. Very easy to use. You can even leave it like that. That's a good thing. So we can just hold it. Open the lid, hold it with one hand. I hope I can do that here behind the camera. So I hold it like that and fill it up even without having to take it fully out. Can push it down again. Now we want to have it in this position here. That's the milk position. That's here on the left side. That's the removal position. That's the rinse position. I mean, to add it itself, it doesn't matter. You can add it in any position, but you can only use the milk functions when you have it like that. Now we have to turn it on again. Goes into standby pretty fast, but that's no problem because it heats up also very fast. So you can see all the milk functions are now flashing because it heats up the milk part. Also doesn't take too long, maybe 20 seconds or so, definitely not longer. But despite a lot of functions, a lot of programs here, there's one specific function which I'm missing here. I really wished there would be a cold milk foam function here, but that's not available, so we can only produce hot milk foam. But of course it's also not available with a lot of similar machines. And now you want to give it a quick rinse. I think it's not described, but this is what I do always before using any milk function and also after I've been using any milk functions. And so to clean, we just rotate this counterclockwise. With the old machine we had to push long, so that's much more convenient here. You can see starts automatically, and usually there's just water. In very rare situations only there is some milk. You can see it's pretty clear, almost like clear water, but I would still recommend to do this rinsing. That's not taking too long, maybe 20 seconds or so. There's a little bit of hot water, also steam, and so I dispose that here as well. And so now I'm really ready to use one of these milk and coffee functions. But now again, of course, we can't use the functions again because it's still in the clean or rinse function, so we have to turn this back. Now we get the milk functions. And so I'm choosing here the latte macchiato. So let's see how this works. Takes a couple of seconds and then it starts first with the milk, but you have seen that probably that there was some water. Now it's milk, but at the beginning there was some water, and I think also during this process when it's pouring in the hot milk or actually the foam, then it's also using some water. I've already measured this and it adds on average, I would say, about 5 to 10% water from the bag actually. I've measured that with the scale. You can also see that in the bag and the water tank, and especially when you're using just milk. I mean, here we are producing foam. Using that with a coffee, you can see it works automatically. I don't have to do anything in between. Starts with the foam and then puts the coffee here inside. If I want more, I can just push here again, for example, a little bit more coffee here without removing the capsule. just squeezing out a little bit more coffee and then it's finished. But there's still some gap here, so I can use that for a little bit extra foam. And even though the cleaning is lit up, which means it's recommended to do a cleaning, of course, after using, I can still add some foam here. So that's just some foam. Yeah, here we go. I just let it run. Every button is programmed to a certain size, certain amount, but you can stop it at any time. If you want to reprogram, you can just push and keep pushing as long as you want it, and when it's at the level which you want, you can release and then it's programmed for the next time. So I'm finished here and this looks really nice, really good. Nice, dense foam, absolutely awesome. Also, coffee quality is really good. I mean, of course, we definitely don't expect anything else from Nespresso. So it's very hot, has very strong pump. There's definitely nothing to complain. And now at the end, of course, we put in cup here and put it into rinse. And you can see it now gives a nice rinse. And you can see there's a little bit of water. Looks very clear, but if you are not sure if that's enough, you can turn it back here and do another rinse here. So that's what I usually do after making some latte macchiato or something like that. Okay, now should be clean. Now we can turn it back. I mean, we can turn it up and down as you want. It's also not really hot, but of course the inside's very hot, so be careful when you remove it. If it's dripping, then the drops are very hot, of course. So I usually leave it like that. We can just pull it out and then close the lid here and everything is done. We can put this into the fridge and everything is done. And cleaning is pretty easy because we can take everything apart. We just push here, then we pull it out. We can also remove these tubes here. Make sure that the spout is straight down. Then you can also pull it out. This part can be twisted counterclockwise and removed. And this toggle has to be turned to this side and be removed. And then you can rinse and flush everything easily. There are quite some large openings. Pretty good, much better than with the old model. Of course, highly recommended to use some dish soap because the milk is quite sticky. You can see it produces nice foam everywhere. You can even clean the small parts here inside. Soak them for a little bit in hot soap. And if available, you can also use the dishwasher. We have even been using the high temperature here from this LG dishwasher. And it came out absolutely perfect. So definitely a great coffee maker, probably the best Nespresso coffee machine on the market right now, despite two small issues from my side. The first thing, again, I wish there would be a cold foam option here available. And the second thing, of course, that's a little bit more important when you're using the milk function, especially the hot milk function, then it's mixing between 5 and 10% of hot water into the milk. For whatever reason, I contacted their support and they couldn't give me any answer for that. But I'm still using the hot milk function, especially for hot milk with some honey. That's absolutely awesome. It's very fast, very convenient, and I don't have to use the microwave, which I really don't like actually. And I would say also the price is right now. Usually you can get it for around $450, something like that. Original price was more like $650. So I think it's a really good time to buy this thing. Of course, there are now these new round Nespresso capsules which they are promoting and not this style anymore. But the big problem with the round shape is that Nespresso has patented the round shape, so there's no competition, and so they can dictate the price for the round shape capsules. But with this old classic shape here, there's quite some competition which keeps the price low, so I stick with this shape of capsules. And so if you're interested, I'll put down the link to the Amazon listing down into the description so you can check it out and order one for you if you like it. If you have any questions or comments or want to share your own experience with this Nespresso coffee machine, then just let us know down in the feedback area. I'm always happy to talk about these things. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.